right, while my kids are watching a movie, I am going to do my first video with my bangs. I'm talking about my experience getting my first mammogram. I'm just gonna do kind of like a look that I typically do. I don't know if I've done it on camera in a while. Everything I use is cruelty free and vegan, but I'm gonna be not really focusing on the products. I'm gonna try to link them down below. I'm not always the best at that, but I'm not a beauty channel anymore for the most part. I'm just like a lifestyle, beauty, wellness, whatever, not just beauty. First, I'm gonna do M107 because that's my favorite shade from Mob. I'm trying to use it up. Went to MIDI Health because I've been having some GI issues. I mean, I've always had GI issues, but gotten worse. And so I decided to use MIDI Health because recommendations on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So she recommended I've had a bunch of blood tests. And so after the blood tests, I have low, actually like severely low ferritin and iron. And yes, I'm vegan. But that has enough, I don't think it has anything to do with it. And she knows I'm vegan, like my nurse practitioner, and she did not say that was the factor. My mom has low ferritin and had to have blood transfusions and is not vegan. After having my hormones checked, they also were kind of they were also low. And she thinks I am going through, and also low vitamin D, which I mean is typical. I don't get outside a lot. I work in an office. I'm gonna use the shade, like I said, we're just doing like I don't know if it's simple or not, the shade M113. And I think I'm gonna mix it with the shade M114. So this shade mixed with this shade. After having, you know, all that kind of the testing done, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of this was ignored by other doctors, and I had to, which she's a nurse practitioner, but a lot of other medical providers, I've had to ask and ask and ask, and they've just ignored me. Since having my second, I just have not been feeling like myself. And it's not just postpartum depression, which I did have, and I'm still on an antidepressant. Wasn't just that. I use bronze Brocade from Kulfi. You can use cheap, they have a lot of other cheaper ones. There's ones from Essence. She recommended hormones, but she wanted me to get a mammogram first, and I will be 34 in less than 3 weeks. And I have never had a mammogram. Usually they're recommended at 40. I do have breast cancer in my family, but it's for the BRCA2 gene, and I was tested for that. I had that testing done, I think it was for a study, when I was 18, and I was negative. Over an 80% chance of getting it, of having that, because my mom and also my mom's dad, my grandfather, who I never met, is a identical twin. And so one of my cousins got breast cancer at 28. My mom got diagnosed at 31 and then diagnosed again on her other breast at 42, 43. My mom had to have, I think she had mammograms every 6 months. So before I did get the hormones, but I didn't take them until I got my mammogram. So I had that. I got it done on a Saturday. And I don't know why I was nervous, because I don't know, I was just nervous. But it wasn't that bad. It was really quick. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of weird having a person sort of, I hate the word, I'm not saying manhandle in like a gender specific way, but like maneuver and your boob and, you know, I don't know how to describe it. But it honestly took less time, the whole exam and the imaging, than me getting my gown on. And then and also she commented on my mom having breast cancer twice, because I had to do like a whole questionnaire and that kind of stuff. And then getting the results. So that took, like I said, less than 5 minutes, getting the pictures, imaging on both my breasts. And then I'm gonna go back in with M107. So then I got the results I got that done on Saturday, and I got the results Monday. I don't know why I opened them at work. That was not a good idea. I just thought, like, you know, oh, it's gonna show nothing, whatever, I can get on the hormones, blah, blah, blah. And because she wanted me to have like a baseline before getting on hormones. So I put a little bit more, something, because this is like fine, but I want something more. So I just thought nothing was going to come of it, and just wishful thinking, trying to be positive. But then I opened it, and it said that it didn't show anything, but I have, cancer wise, I do have dense breast tissue in both my breasts. And so I am considered higher risk. I think it's like a 21 something percent chance, lifetime chance of getting breast cancer. I was just shocked, because I just didn't think, I don't know. After having the testing done before, I thought I was in the clear. Now there's more genetic testing, and I have been recommended, I think it was last year, I was recommended to have, it was, I think she's a nurse practitioner. She's either a PA or a nurse practitioner. I'm not trying to be, you know, rude. Recommended to have more testing done. There's always things coming out, like more testing coming out. I need to use this because it's in my use 10 times. This is Pink Flare from Devinah. I've had this for a while. I really like it. My mind is just, ever since getting back from vacation, I feel like I've just like not screwed on right. So yeah, told my mom, told my husband, obviously, told my dad, which my dad was thinking it was just on the male side, which it's genetics. It goes from both sides. So anyway, I do want to have more genetic testing because I do have girls. The BRCA2 gene is on my mom's side, my male cousins. So it's not just, you know, my mom and my cousin that passed away. I'm not going anywhere today. Yeah, I'm just kind of still processing that. I did just start taking hormones, progesterone. I'll put it on the screen, and something else. I have like a patch, and I'm not on birth control or anything like that. My husband had the snip 5.5 years ago. I've been having issues around my cycle. My cycle ranges from like 21 days to like, or like, I don't know, 20 something days to 32 days. And it's just been really crazy. And like I said, I just don't feel like myself. I haven't felt like myself since having my second. It's not just postpartum, and it's not just, you know, things that I've mentioned before and being ignored. So I always think like advocating for yourself, because I have had to push and push and push, and I feel like I've just been ignored. I haven't had my endoscopy scheduled, which I've like been thinking about canceling, but then because my symptoms have been okay, knock on wood, all of a sudden next week I feel awful. So I just want to get hopefully some answers. And I'm really glad I did find this MIDI Health. I did find MIDI Health, and I did start going because, and I did schedule an appointment because it just sucks being ignored. I know, and I have been, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I have been in the medical field before. I understand they're burnt out, but it's like, I'm always like, you chose this job? I didn't. So I'm going to use the Tower28 One Liner Color Be Fine. I don't know what shade this is. It just has like the number. Anyway, I'm just going to tight line. I do think that sometimes they, yeah.
My snack.
Okay.
It's in the trash.
Thank you. Love you. You're the best.
I like your new hair.
Thank you. I just don't understand, you know, the ignoring, because I asked and asked and asked to have my hormones tested, and they kept being like, next time. Before I had my blood test, I had blood test done, and I was told my iron was kind of low. No, it was severely low. And I don't know if my iron was even ever tested when I was pregnant, which is also scary because I was looking at blood tests and I could not find anything of iron. And thankfully both my kids are great and they were fine as baby, you know, they were born great, healthy, yada yada. I just don't understand. Like, I feel like women are so ignored. We're like complaining or whining, and I don't understand it. And so I am advocating for myself and pushing for myself, because I've also, as a mom and a wife and working and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I haven't put myself first. And in order to be a good mom and a good wife and a good everything, only you can take care of yourself. You know, you're the only one that is knowing your body, knowing your symptoms, seeing how you're feeling. I'm not saying you should just get like actually, maybe yearly, we should just get a full-blown scan. I know it's with insurances and all that kind of crap, which also I feel like they don't really care about you. We're trying to get like political or anything, but they don't. They just are there for money. I'm like, okay, but you're paying for this, right? And then, so I am getting an endoscopy, which I haven't had an endoscopy in over like maybe 15 years. They showed nothing. Again, it's like, I've had acid reflux since I was a little kid, and I've been on different medications, over the counters, all these different things. All of a sudden my body gets kind of like immune to it, and it's like I literally will describe it as like taking water. I've tried a bland diet. I tried gluten-free. I've tried all the things, and nothing seems to work. It works for like a little bit, and then it's like back to, and they are going to actually do a biopsy to try to see if, even if the exam shows, like the colonoscopy doesn't show anything, they are going to do a biopsy and try to see if that shows anything, which is nice. I've had a colonoscopy. That was awful. The process was just so terrible. I think it looks pretty, right? Lighting is kind of gloomy in here. As a mom, as a woman, as a person, I think advocating for yourself. I've been seeing so many mental health things for men, which sucks too, because I think sometimes men they think they gotta like to carry the load, and which also women too. I'm just saying with men, it's sad seeing a lot of these women completely just, they're on their own. And that is terrifying to me. I don't know what I would do if my husband. I'm using the Melt cream liner. What is this called? Cream liner in Penny. I'm just going to do a little bit. But I just saw a mom who has 7 kids and she's alone. And it was he took his own life, and it has some black liner still on it, like black eyeshadow. That just made me so sad. I've also had family members that have done that were sick and did that. People not thinking that they need help, or being scared to get help, or being ignored. Men and women, I think, again, advocate for yourself. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. And sometimes you have to see the right people. Because, like I said, with MIDI Health, I finally got my blood tested, and I got things ordered that I've been requesting before. I've been requesting to get hormones. My hormones tested. I've been requesting to different things. I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Sorry, that just made me so irritated. I'm still kind of nervous about being on hormones because I know that increases your risk, which is like everything increases your risk. So I did talk to my husband about that. Even though this is my body, still, I didn't want any resentment if I do end up getting breast cancer, which I also need to, because my breast tissue is dense. Sorry, back to that. I do need to have her eyes done because it's hard to see, I guess, cancer and tumors because it's like the same color. Kind of scary. I know it's like 20%, but still, it's still scary being high risk, and it's just a lot of pressure. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up, okay? But I didn't want to talk about my first experience. It was positive. I've heard people say it's painful, it's this, it's that. Like, you need to see positive experiences and positive testing. And it was a 3D one. I did do a paper. My last college paper was actually on 3D mammograms, and people again were like, radiation, this, that. We can go off on that on a different day. Let me finish up my makeup. All right. Hours later, I finished my look. I try to list the products down below. Let me know if you want to hear any more story times. But that was my experience getting my first mammogram. Wasn't as scary as people say it was. It wasn't like painful as people say it was. But yeah, if you like videos like this, click subscribe, like, and hype. And I will be doing some day in the lives and vlogs, weekend kind of resetty stuff. Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, like, hype, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.